You've heard the words a million times, right? Mission, vision, values. Sounds like something straight out of a corporate handbook. But what if I told you those aren't just for a poster in some stuffy boardroom? Today, we're going to crack the code on how these three simple words are the actual DNA for building the most important brand you'll ever manage, your own.
So, here's our game plan. First, we're going to bust these concepts out of the corporate world. Then, we'll get into the nitty-gritty of your brand's foundation. After that, we'll talk about why your brand is always growing and changing. And finally, the fun part. We'll figure out what makes you, different.
All right, let's dive right into our first section. I think I know what you might be thinking, so we're going to tackle that idea head on.
Seriously, I get it. The second you hear mission statement, you're picturing a dusty plaque on a wall, aren't you? It just feels so impersonal. But what if I told you these ideas are actually some of the most personal, powerful tools you have for your career?
Just think about it for a second. A company's culture doesn't just magically appear. Nope, it starts with a person, the founder, the CEO, their own personal drive, their vision for the future, their core beliefs. That's the stuff that ends up shaping the entire company. So you see, the power doesn't start in the boardroom. It starts with an individual. It starts with you.
Okay, so now that we've brought it back to the individual, let's really break down these three core pieces. I want you to think of them as the literal DNA of who you are professionally.
First up is your mission. This is your why, plain and simple. It's the reason you do what you do. It's that core purpose that gets you fired up. It answers that big question, why am I even here? Next, we have your vision. So if the mission is your why, the vision is your what. It's that big, ambitious future you're aiming for. What are you trying to build? What kind of impact or legacy do you want to leave behind? And rounding out our trio, we have your values. These are your non-negotiables. They're the core principles that guide how you operate, how you make decisions. They are the building blocks of your unique point of view.
And this is so important. These are not three separate, isolated ideas. They're all tangled together. They're this tightly woven foundation. Your mission, vision, and values, they all work together to create and project your personal brand out into the world.
But here's a super important thing to remember. This foundation, it isn't set in concrete. You should think of it more like a living blueprint, something that's meant to evolve and grow right along with you.
I mean, just look at a typical career path. The mission that was driving you as a student is going to be totally different from the vision you have when you step into your first real leadership role, right? It's this dynamic, changing guide for your entire career.
So what's actually driving all this change? Well, it's life. Every new experience you have, every time your worldview shifts a little, every bit of professional growth, even just your environment, all these things are constantly reshaping your brand. And that's not just okay, it's a really good thing. It means you're growing.
So if we all have this personal DNA, and it's always evolving, that brings us to the most important question of all. How do you use your unique foundation to actually stand out from the crowd?
Okay, stick with me on this one, because it's a really powerful little mindset shift. Just for a minute, think of yourself as a product on a shelf. What are your unique features? What are the specific benefits that you and only you can deliver? Now, this isn't about being cold or impersonal. It's about getting crystal clear on what makes you valuable.
And this, right here, this is one of the best ways to find that unique edge. It's so simple. Just fill in these two blanks. First, think about the conventional wisdom in your field. What does everybody else believe? Then, fill in the second one. What do you believe that's different? That gap, that little bit of tension between those two statements, that's where your personal brand is born. This is it right here. The whole point isn't to try and fit in. It's to find and then lean into what makes you stand out. That difference isn't some kind of weakness. It is your single greatest professional asset.
So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with this question. Go back to that blank space we just talked about. Really spend some time with it. What is that one core belief that makes you, you? Because I promise you, finding the answer to that question, that's the real key to unlocking a personal brand that is not only powerful, but more importantly, is 100% authentically you.